I received a question regarding spiritual awakening that I would like to read out. So the questioner says, I have been on spiritual path for more than 10 years now. Started with Vipassana meditation, then moved to Advaita Vedanta, and now after consistent efforts and seeking to know, I feel I understand what is and what that is. I have even let it change much in my way of living. Today, life is much more peaceful and calm, but I still feel that seeking is not ending. My conclusion is that the mind is looking for special experiences or something which we often read in hundreds of scriptures and thousands of people's testimony, and I have never ever had any special experiences in these 10 years. My question is really is there really in such extraordinary is there really such extraordinary spiritual experiences, or are they only symbolic, metaphoric? I can I cannot speak much about other people, but I can just give you my own concept regarding what we perceive as an experience. For me, the the spiritual awakening that we talk about here is symbolic. It's a concept. Now, I have written about my own experience in one of my articles, but you would see back then when I wrote that article, I was undergoing seeking. The seeking was activated. So my mind dubbed that experience into something extraordinary. So I wrote it in a way that it looked like as if something special had happened. But here's the thing, spiritual awakening is actually not an experience, it is not an extraordinary event. It is simply a crack in the structure of the personality or the separate self. So when the glimpse happens, there is only experiencing, there is no experiencer experiencing anything. So all that happens is pure experiencing in a given moment, which can be one's experience if the mind becomes completely silent. And I'm sure many people, even the questioner here, may have experienced it already. But since the mind is so caught up, after meditation or any practices that we do, the mind comes up fast, and it rushes up with all the thoughts and thinking, and then there is a chase. Oh, I haven't experienced it yet, so there I'm missing something, whereas other people have experienced it, so maybe they are better than me. But that's all false notion. There is nothing special about spiritual awakening. In fact, spiritual awakening is the end of this whole speciality, this whole feeling of specialness. It is the end of that, because there is no experiencer experiencing anything. The very fact that the questioner's dilemma continues to happen is because they're trying to chase an experience which is based on what they have read or heard. So, if I start meditating with the objective that, if I meditate more and more, somehow the separate self, the meditator, will dissolve. But that thought itself keeps the meditator alive. That thought itself continues the separate self, because there is an attachment to an outcome. Now that my mind is more settled and calm, I see that what I had written in the past about, quote unquote, my spiritual awakening is no special state. It was nothing special, because such experiencing happened many other times as well. And even people, who write about the awakening experiences, they are not, I think, as far as I think, they are not trying to say that something special happened to them, or that through that experience their life changed. Yes, some changes may happen in life. It's just that the greatest change that happens after spiritual awakening is that the life's flow is accepted the way it is. And that brings peace. Because deep down, there is this knowing, there is this realization that there is no experiencer of anything. The Ashtavakra Gita says, when the king Janaka asks Ashtavakra, what is the truth? Ashtavakra says that know yourself as the witness of the phenomenal world, the unaffected, dispassionate witness of the phenomenal world, and you will know the truth. Don't even bother about trying to awaken yourself, because the person never awakens. And if the person perceives some experience which seems like a grand experience, full of bliss, that is not awakening. That is simply mind coming up with more and more imagination. The spiritual awakening cannot even be called an experience, because it is not an experience. It is simply experiencing. To have an experience, you need an experiencer. Spiritual awakening is the dent in the structure which causes the experiencer to dissolve. So the experiencer becomes an experienced object. That means it becomes a part of experiencing, pure experiencing. The chase for a special state, chase for trying to be better somehow after having an experience is something I do not subscribe to. All I can say is, don't concern yourself with any kind of awakening or enlightenment. Just go with the natural flow of life. Do whatever you think you should do in a given moment. Yes, you can practice Vipassana. It's a beautiful practice. It calms the mind. You can do yoga. You can do any practice or any spiritual work that you like. There is no harm with that. But that has got nothing to do with awakening or you trying to awaken yourself. Subtle states of mind, when the mind is silent, will definitely bring amazing insights. But those insights are not personal, they are impersonal insights. So even me trying to explain what spiritual awakening is, the words fall short of it. Words cannot describe, because words are nothing but thought forms, and every thought form is limited. So when I try to describe spiritual awakening as an experience, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to capture something vast and I'm reducing it to something very small, and I'm trying to present it to you. Unfortunately, that is the only mechanism of communication, by reducing something into thought form and then expressing in words. So I'm bound by language, so I have to sometimes use this kind of language and say that spiritual awakening experience happened or spiritual awakening happened. But if you go deep into it, it is not an experience that is experienced by an individual, a person. In fact, the notion of a separate subject, an individual experiencing anything, is separation, and that separation creates suffering. So don't try to awaken yourself, don't try to start the seeking, and don't try to stop the seeking, because this is just, all of this is doership, and doership perpetuates suffering. The doer mind is the ego mind. So I hope that answers your question. And you say in your email that you experience a lot of peace and calm. So don't even try to conceptualize what is that, what is I am. Any conceptualization comes from the experiencer. Just be. Just be in that space, in that spacious vastness, in that awareness of peace. And yes, it is not going to be a permanent state. The bliss sometimes or the peace sometimes will come. Other times you will experience turbulence also. It's a roller coaster ride. It's life is a cycle of alternating pain and pleasure that cannot be changed. Acceptance of life the way it is peace. There is nothing special about spiritual awakening. There is no such thing as a spiritually awakened person. If somebody claims that they are spiritually awakened, the person is spiritually awakened, then that is the separate self, that is the ego trying to say that somehow I have become better because I had an experience. That's why Nisargadatta Maharaj would say, don't chase after experiences, because experiences are going to perpetuate this and strengthen the separate self. But look at the background, the awareness, the spacious awareness in which all of these experiences are manifesting. That is what your true nature is. So I hope that covers the question. Take care.